Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today's video we're going to be taking a look at Killmonger. Now first things first, my Killmonger is a 6-star rank 1 and not duped. Unfortunately, without a dupe he does lose quite a bit of damage output. That is for his offensive uses, and he also loses all the reverb damage, so he's not nearly as good of a defender unduped as he is duped. But still, first things first, let's check out our damage output against this Realm of Legends Winter Soldier. So I am basically using just a typical mutant crit team kind of. And I probably should have added Human Torch, but hey, it is what it is. I am running Suicides, so that is boosting my damage output a fair bit. And while we are checking how quickly can Killmonger take down Winter Soldier, a few things about Killmonger. He has a party trick he can use once a fight. Basically, once you have placed more than 15 bleeds on opponent, you can drop a level 3 and you're gonna see opponent get a chunk of bleeds immediately and do a massive damage that way. But that is once a fight kind of trick. His level 2 basically gives you Indestructible Charges that will prevent you from taking any damage from a single hit, and you can get up to 4 of those charges maximum. You can't get more than 4, and each level 3 grants you 3 of those charges. So whenever you have 4 charges on you, you can pretty much eat a full combo and you will only take damage from the last hit in the combo. Another thing to mention definitely is that Killmonger has access to True Strike. Originally he activates True Strike whenever he punishes opponent's special attack if you are quick enough, but he also has a Winter Soldier synergy which lets him access True Strike whenever you perform an intercept, which is extremely useful. Then again, his level 1 grants you another set of charges, and those charges basically work whenever opponent hits you in a block while you have one of those charges active, you go unstoppable for a short amount of time. There is a quite interesting way how to utilize it in longer fights against stun immune opponents, because you can combine that Indestructible Charge with your Unstoppable Charge on purpose, take a hit in a block, don't take any damage, and just strike opponent immediately without having a need to block bait a heavy attack or whatsoever. And now we dropped our level 3 because we got to 50 bleed counter stacks kind of, and we can see that he's ticking away for 8k plus. Now if it would be duped, we could potentially increase the damage even more. Also, definitely important to mention that Killmonger has a chance to bleed opponent on his basic attacks whenever they crit, and that is definitely important because that is how you access your bleed counter stacks and trigger them with your level 3 later on in the fight. But now we can see that 150 hits in, this Winter Soldier is pretty much down. We're probably going to have to drop another 10 hits or so in order to finish the job, but we can definitely see that his damage output is not the worst. It's nothing game breaking, it's nothing out of extraordinary, but he definitely can throw a solid punch, especially if opponent is not bleed immune. But now let's take a look at some fights in Act 6, and whenever you're talking Killmonger these days, you definitely have to mention Killmonger and Void synergy for Icarus nodes, because that is extremely fun time. It's one of the best solutions for Icarus, because Void Synergy gives Killmonger 35% chance, I believe, to shrug off any debuff that is applied to him. And since Icarus node will place a lot of debuffs on you if you purposely play aggressive, basically you're gonna end up hitting really hard, having your debuffs shrugged off and healing a lot. So that is by far the most fun and interesting way how to use Killmonger. Whenever you see Icarus node, you can just grab your Killmonger, grab Void, and you can absolutely shred opponent. Another piece of utility Killmonger has is that he gains a slight bit of power every time a debuff is applied to him. Therefore, for instance, when you use Suicide Masteries, you start with almost a bar of power immediately at the beginning of the fight, and on nodes like Icarus you will have absolutely no trouble whatsoever to get your special attacks once you reach first one. And as we can see here, we're hitting insanely hard for the rank 1 6-star, and we are also finishing the fights on full health. So that is definitely extremely kind of cool and fun way how to choose Icarus and pretty much entire quest in Act 6, Chapter 2, Quest 3. Also, we're going to take a look at Medusa fight on the same node, just because it's definitely worth mentioning that the True Strike comes in handy extremely often. It does help you to provide solutions for a lot of tricky matchups, for evades, auto blocks, stuff like that. True Strike basically cancels it all, and Killmonger is one of the champions in the game that accesses this True Strike pretty much the easiest by a single intercept. You can pretty much have it from the first hit of the fight if you nail your intercept, so it kind of relies on you how well you can do it. However, Killmonger is a quite intercept friendly champion because of his Indestructible Charges, because after you have dropped your level 2, you have 3 Indestructible Charges, so you can pretty much play freely without much fear of making an error, which is another reason why I'm personally a quite big fan of Killmonger, because he promotes aggressive gameplay and he gives you a safety blanket to fall back on, so you can basically try your best to intercept opponent, play dangerously, and quite often not suffer any consequences if you do happen to make a mistake. Now, this video is just to showcase how quickly can Killmonger dispatch regular opponents in Act 6. So this is Act 6, Chapter 2, Quest 4. And yeah, we can see that there is absolutely nothing kind of special that would benefit Killmonger's damage output. The opponent is just a random yellow jacket. However, he's still dropping down fairly quickly. You are kind of encouraged to play aggressively with Killmonger, and at this point we can see that he's at 20 bleed stack charges on that side. So basically you need to get to your level 3 and then you can finish off any and every opponent. I probably should have started to save for my level 3 a bit earlier in the fight, but still we're going to see that he just goes down extremely quickly after this level 3, and the fight is going to be over. And that is how you want to deal with any kind of like longer fights, harder opponents. Basically fight as normal, but keep in mind that as soon as you go over your 15 bleed stacks, you will have available incredibly high damage on your level 3. And now we're going to go to showcase a few more strengths of Killmonger, and that is going to be to deal with this no retreat Moon Knight. So first things first, this Moon Knight has a can't touch me node on, so he has 50% chance to evade all of the incoming basic attacks. However, because Killmonger can access his True Strike so easily, you can pretty much ignore that node and any evades in the game, especially if you are running Winter Soldier synergy. Another thing that makes Killmonger extremely great for a lot of no-retreat options is the simple fact that you don't really have to bait out opponents' special attacks. And what I mean by that is no-retreat typically gives you the most trouble when you struggle baiting out opponents' special attack. However, Killmonger can simply go on tanking opponents' level 3s all day long because of his Indestructible Charges that cancel out all damage from basic attacks and special attacks. Each charge is basically consumed per hit, but on level 3, if you have even one charge, it will count it as a one single hit and you will have nothing to worry about. Now then, I did trigger no retreat by accident, but the base point still stands. At no point I feel obliged to be forced to bait out opponent's special attack. I can just push him in corner, push his power bar up, tank his level 3, ignore his evade, not worry about no retreat. And as you can see here, we're tanking a second special 3 from Moon Knight, which would have killed us for sure, and still we take no damage from it. So that is in fact quite cool. I definitely do enjoy it and I think it's extremely useful. And True Strike champions in general find themselves to be extremely useful in quite many different situations, and Killmonger is a perfect example of that just because of how easily he can access his True Strike. And now next fight I am going to demonstrate is going to be a similar principle to Icarus node but much more harmless. In this fight we are fighting against a close long distance relationship node, and basically the longer we stay close to the opponent, the more weakness debuffs we get stacked on us. If we want to remove them, we need to keep away. However, Killmonger's synergy with Void basically gets rid of quite a lot of those, and combined with the natural kind of like process of them falling off whenever you maintain your distance, as you can see, you can pretty much fight normally, completely ignoring the node, get quite a bit of heal from that Void synergy, so your health pretty much stays topped up in the process. Like in this case, even though we're running suicides, we're eating recoil damage, our health is almost always maxed out, and at no point we have more than 2 or 3 of these weakness debuffs on us. So it's just kind of like quite a nice way to get rid of the hindrance that is long distance relationships. And I know it's not the most difficult node, but the same idea applies against pretty much any node or opponent that does inflict quite a lot of debuffs on you. That Void Synergy will help you quite a bit to basically just top your health up, remain healthy. Additionally, every time a debuff is applied to you, you gain a chunk of power. And that, however, means that you will be able to spam more of your level 2s, your damage output is going to go up, and you're going to have more of those indestructibility charges, and you're going to have much more room for error. And that is one of the things that is so alluring about Killmonger, just how user-friendly he is. You can be aggressive, you can intercept, you can mess up, you can get a hit, and he's a sturdy character to begin with, and that combined with basically his indestructible charges will definitely let you kind of make more mistakes and more tricky fights without being punished too harshly. Now here we are fighting up against Iron Man Infinity War in variant 1 Ultron's Assault. It's definitely worth to mention that Killmonger was one of my MVPs for this variant. Now I did make a small mistake at the beginning of the fight and I ate a level 1, however that is completely down to me, and there again I missed an intercept. However, we still will be able to finish off this fight, and as we can see that we are completely ignoring Iron Man's armor buffs just because we don't care about them, just because we have True Strike on. So even though Iron Man Infinity War is pretty much immune to bleed for most part, still having the True Strike makes him a fairly easy opponent. As you can see, we're not really struggling, we are aggressive, we are just keeping him in his corner, baiting out his special attacks, punishing those or intercepting. Also those indestructible charges eat up quite a lot of chip damage we would have taken otherwise, and now all of a sudden Iron Man Infinity War becomes fairly kind of user-friendly fight. There's nothing too tricky about it, and the thing is that there are not too many skill or mutant champions that have good matchups against this guy. So whenever you are required to use a skill champion, Killmonger is probably your best bet. And yeah, so here you can see that last 15%, no auto blocks, all of them auto blocks failed in a row, and we finished out the fight fairly easily. Now there was a bit of sloppy gameplay from my part, but that's definitely not the fault of Killmonger. And now for the final fight in the video, we're going to be taking a look at this Hyperion fight in variant 1, and we're going to be testing just exactly how reliable those indestructible charges are. Also, definitely worth noting that every time you eat a level 3, that pretty much gives you a bar of power. So long as you had any power to begin with at the time you eat that level 3, you will almost always immediately going to be able to drop another level 2 and gain more indestructible charges. Now what does that mean for you? It's quite simple. You can eat as many level 3s as you want. You will have no problems maintaining your indestructibility charges, and only thing you need to be worried about if any champions have like long stun effects or damage over time effects associated with their level 3. Other than that, you're perfectly fine. You have nothing to worry about. As we can see here, we're just comfortably pushing Hyperion to level 3, eating his level specials, and then having a go at him afterwards. But that will more or less do for Killmonger in today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, hit that sub button, and as my kind of final words for Killmonger is that I do believe he's definitely underestimated. He's a very versatile champion, a sturdy champion, a user-friendly champion, a definite rank up option for pretty much any account, especially if you run Void on regular basis, because that synergy is extremely beneficial for both of them, and both of them are really great champions to play with. So if you enjoy playing with Void, definitely pay more attention to Killmonger. Those champions complement each other fantastically. But yeah, that's definitely it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like, sub. See ya.